Okay, so uh, I wanted to make a different video today. I'm gonna be making a different one. It's talking about Kingdom Hearts and video games and some good stuff. And I was waiting for Sony or AMD to say something about next gen. We just got real conference date. We don't have anything else. But I keep seeing people losing content creators and everyone who's talking in their comments, mostly from what I've seen, on how the Xbox, next gen Xboxes are such cheap, good deals. Um, and I want to know what world everyone's fucking living in because they're not. And I don't understand the conversation of going, well, look at the hardware it's inside, and then look at the price. It's only $300 or it's only $500. But that's not the price of a console. If you want the price of a console, like, and you think that upfront what you're paying for is all you're going to have to pay for, you're sadly mistaken. If you buy everything for a computer, let's say, and this is not a Xbox versus PlayStation video, anybody who's wondering, this is a consoles are cheap uh, reality check, I guess. Because they're not. And anybody who doesn't worry about, like, isn't penny pinching with consoles, then doesn't have to worry about it. If that, like, $60 a year you can pay no problem at any point, just like, oh yeah, it renewed. Shit, that was in August. And then this video and what I'm saying doesn't concern you. But if you're thinking that $300 for an Xbox that has no disk drive, that has 512 gigabytes is cheap, it's not. Um, so so let's start. Xbox Live Gold, and this applies for PlayStation. I guess it applies for Nintendo, but there's an asterisk with Nintendo because you don't need it for most of their games. $60 a year to use your online. Just to use online. The same thing if I had a gaming PC or a PC in general and I just wanted to play games on it, I can talk to my friends and play online with people with because I pay for internet. Because I already bust my ass to pay for internet. That's what I should pay for, not a premium to use your box. So then there has to come with the caveat of, okay, the Xbox Series S is $300 plus at least $60 a year to play online with people and to use whatever games you've purchased through their subscription service. For me, I have PlayStation. PlayStation Plus, all of the games I download and get for free through PlayStation Plus, the bonuses and the deal of getting PlayStation Plus, well, as soon as I don't pay that, I can't play them. It's a streaming service. It's not my game. It's not better than if I just bought the game for $10 that month and I got to keep the game because I get to keep the fucking game. So this Series S is $300, yes, and it's $60 a year for just to use online. And before I go here, hold on a sec. Okay, so I want to talk about the all access. Um, I did another video. It's like a buying guide for parents, people who want to buy one of the next gen consoles or a next gen video game type system, anything gaming, and is looking at consoles. I did one yesterday. It's like a holiday guide. It's a long one. It's like it goes down specifically like here's all the areas that you can get in trouble. And I'm basically going through that today. But I want to say the all access is not a good like deal. It still comes with all of the problems I'm talking about. So maybe I'll make a separate video on the all access. But if like anybody wants to say in the comments or just say that oh you're wrong because the access is only $25 a month, it doesn't change anything. It does not change any of the real concerns and issues. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So now we have the console price plus it's at least $60 a year for Live Gold. And if you want to do the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it's not a discount. It's like you have to buy it with the Game Pass. So it's $15 a month, which means at the end of the year, how much is that? 180. Now, how much is the Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold separately? 120 for the Game Pass, 60 for the Xbox Live Gold. Holy shit, 180. It's at no discount. None whatsoever. And you want to say you get cloud gaming and the EA stuff, those are perks. But it doesn't mean that like that's not, oh, you know what? Like that's what you do to justify. You don't go, it's a better deal for the Xbox Live Gold that way. No, Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus just to play online is still a scam. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what caveats and perks and all this other stuff that comes with it. It doesn't matter. You're still paying to play online. So whether you're paying more to get the Game Pass with it or you're paying the bare minimum 60 just to play online, you're still paying $60 to just play online with your friends. So the next thing, Xbox Series X games. So that $300, are you just going to buy whoever you're buying this for the holidays? Are you just going to buy this for them with no games? So what games are they playing with it? Previous Xbox One games? Get them a used Xbox One. Why get them a new one? If you're going to get them a new one, obviously you're going to be getting the Series S or Series X games. You're going to get some next-gen game that comes out, right? At least one. It's an extra $60 to $70. You can't just take it out and be like, oh, that's cheap and that. Because I can get deals on the Steam or what are they? Uplay or Rockstar or Blizzard Entertainment. I can get it deals constantly on any of those if you don't buy the codes and stuff separately, or if there isn't discs that I just buy those used and get them at a slightly better discount. No matter what, whether it's PC, you get a smaller discount for discs, you get a larger discount for discs for consoles. You still get a discount for discs. Xbox Series S doesn't have a disc drive. And unfortunately, this same position for PS5 or PS5 Digital doesn't have a disc drive. So any of those old PS4 games, if you're like, oh, I get them mostly used games, no, you're buying them off the store. Most of those don't have deals constantly. They sometimes have deals. You have to cherry pick and nitpick here and there. But you can't just go off of like something like CD keys and go buy your Xbox games easily. Not all of them, and they're not all at a discount. I tried to look for it just for shits and giggles. I wanted to see what a Dragon Ball game was on there because I'd gotten. I was trying to get one for my friend on PS4, and I was like, oh, they don't have it on that site, but they have Xbox. Let me see what it is. It was like 58 something for the full game. Less than $2 discount is not a discount. So, are you buying them any games? Yeah. It's not $300 anymore. It's not cheap. Controllers. Are you buying this for two people? What if the controller breaks? Here's your only option for a controller. It's $60. One comes with it. Great. Are there two kids in the house? Does this person want to play with other people? Two. Right? And to compare this, what I'm comparing it to is to a PC. Well, what if your friend's here and you guys both want to play? You'd need a controller. But you can get any controller. You can get a $10 piece of shit that just plugs in. You can get a $20 still kind of piece of crap. You can get everything up to this one. You can get a more expensive controller. Or you can pay $20 for a second keyboard and mouse, and you got a second one. You have that option, right? But this is, again, these are proprietary. There are certain things that you can only do in their ecosystem. They don't allow you to do other things. It's like certain ways you get stuck with what the company wants. It's no longer cheaper. It's not cheaper. Xbox accessories. I just left a question mark. It depends on what you're going to use. You want a controller layout? You want a charging station for your controllers? Okay. But you also take into account that if I were to say build you a gaming PC, right, or build you a PC, the front of the PC would have the front I/O would have anywhere from 1 to 3, or if it has 3, it might only have 1 or 2 working, but 1 to 3 USBs. Motherboards don't really come with less than 5. So you have at least 6 USBs. Mouse, keyboard, extra USB sticks, external memory, external graphics card, whatever you want. Everything uses USB mostly. Maybe it uses USB-C. Some motherboards come with that. You can get a USB to USB adapter. But you have like plenty of options. I get one with the Xbox. Does that mean I can only charge my controller at once, and if I have an external storage, I have to constantly be unplugging it? For $300, they couldn't put a second USB so you can have an external storage and your controller plugged in to charge. Or if one of those is a charging station, I can't have a charging station in and external storage if that's the way I want to go with it. Then they should have charged $249 for this. They should have charged $300 for either an extra USB or a terabyte. I don't give a shit. That's what they should have done. Next, a TV. If you're getting this next-gen systems, but you're keeping like your TV at home as a 1080p 60 hertz, why? You're buying a system that's not going to be fully utilizing like the TV. You're not on the TV you currently have. You're probably not going to see what you're buying. You're not going to really be seeing a difference. You'll be feeling a little bit of a difference with like loading times and certain things like that, but it's not like cheap. Now let's say If you get a monitor, that's the same thing as a PC to a gaming PC to a console. If you're getting a monitor, you have like a small like TV computer monitor, you're in the luck. A lot of these aren't. Most friends I know don't have a monitor hookup to their gaming consoles. It's a TV, especially when we were all younger and I was growing up. Of course, you had a TV because you had a TV in the house. And then my Xbox or my PlayStation was a Blu-ray player, DVD player. So of course, mom would want to get a better TV. Now she can actually watch Blu-rays. Oh, you know what? Then I'll invest in the money. But if you're just doing that, like just straight for the upgrade, the cheapest I could find. Now I have one over here. I want to get to it. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. It was the cheapest that I found anywhere. This $111 for 1080p, 120 hertz. 1080p, it's not 1440, which is what the Series S is supposed to be. And it's not 4K, which is what the Series X is supposed to be. 3 years old model, renewed, 1080p, 120 hertz. It's $111. And if you're like, well, I don't need a 120 hertz screen, then you don't need a Series S because that's what it's supposed to be doing. Higher frame rates at lower resolutions. If you're only interested in 4K 60, get a TV with 4K 60. But then you're not going to be doing 1440p or 1080p at a higher frame rate. Which honestly, if you've been gaming for years at 1440p or 1080p at 60 hertz and you just upgrade to 4K, sure, it's a graphical increase, but it doesn't really affect games. It really doesn't make you feel like you're playing better games. It's prettier games. You know, it's like playing Final Fantasy VII versus Final Fantasy VII Remake on the same TV. It's like, ooh, it's a graphical difference. But if they're both running at 30 hertz, there is no gameplay there. There's nothing that makes you like it. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. But this comes with a little asterisk because you can get a monitor if that's the route you're going. But then you do have to put this into your budget. You don't get to just fly it and go, oh, all of a sudden, $249 for like, and this one that I have here, $249, was this one that I have all the way at the top here. Vizio is a very good company. I've never had any problems with them. Usually their stuff lasts like no less than like 8 years. I've had a TV, maybe 6 years. I've had a TV from them and then go. But if you're looking for your average 4K, 120 hertz, here you go. 750, 1200, 800, 649 for Hisense. I've seen their TVs. I've not liked their the color in them. I think it's far inferior to any of the name brands. But then you get the name brands, and look at this, $949. If you're getting TV, if this is a family thing, if it's like, hey, I'm gonna get the new TV to match the game system because I'm getting the game system for the kid, well then this is really fucking expensive. It's not cheap anymore because the whole argument here is everyone's going, oh, it's such a good deal. It's such a good deal. It's not a good deal because you're forgetting everything else that you as a content creator have in your studio and at your disposal, or you have the money where you don't need to worry about, wow, yeah, it's $1,000 TV upgrade just to get the $300 system. Maybe since that's about $1,300, I really should look at a gaming computer instead. Maybe I should. And I want to reiterate as well, it's purely gaming. You can do so much more with the computer. Become a content creator. Find your niche on there. Study. Whatever it is. Online classes. Learning through YouTube. Courses through some other means. There's plenty of things you can do with the computer. You can't do any of that with the fucking gaming console. So you buy this $300 cheap option is pure gaming. When I put the money into my computer, when did I do that? When my computer died. So I needed a new computer. So instead of spending $500 to $800 on some laptop that's going to be good and fine for me to work with, I put that into a desktop, gaming, and then I put my little budget I had for myself for the gaming future into it. And then so when I'm not gaming on here, I don't look at this thing and go, oh wow, I really wasted whatever the price point was. No, because it's my computer. It's how I'm connecting to the internet. It's how I'm learning right now. It's how I'm working sometimes. I can't replace that with going, You know what? I would have saved it if I spent half the money and then got the Xbox, because that Xbox does nothing but game. And then parents that then go buy this then bitch and complain that all their kid does is play video games. Well, you spent hundreds of dollars on this thing that only does video games. That's all they're going to do on it. And Xbox doesn't have a content creation stuff that PlayStation 5 might have. The next gen Xbox have a share button, screenshots and videos. Ooh, that's really good. That's really important. No video editing, no uploading, nothing, none of that. We've heard. If it is there, we haven't heard anything on it. So I'll keep this as an asterisk because you can replace it with a monitor instead of a TV. And this is here because you never know what you'll have to do. And the controller really depends on how often you break your controllers, how many people are going to be using the system. But these two things, the games and the live gold, are permanent. Now, there's one more permanent option. I actually had it placed right here before controller, and it's a storage option. This is the most important. I've watched so many people that I actually like on content creation and people I don't like on content creation. And everyone's going, now it might not be my thing, but the Xbox is a real good deal. How the fuck do you know that? How the fuck do you know that? Okay, buy an Xbox Series S. That's 512 gigabytes. Use half of it just downloading the latest Call of Duty game. Half your memory in one game, essentially. Maybe with the system software, and maybe if I'm wrong on exactly how much Call of Duty currently was, maybe a little less than half. Okay, so what, you fit 2 or 3 games on there? What do you do then? You have to buy one of their expandable storage options. Now you're paying probably some games an extra $10 premium purchase for the games. By the way, this $70 game purchase is only for PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. It's not for PC. PC games are staying at $60. It's only for the next gen systems bullshit. So this expandable storage option, I put here 100 to 150. This is about my estimate of what it should be. This is what we can guess what it kind of can be for a 1 terabyte. Let me actually put that so people have a reference. A 1 terabyte, about 100 to 150. So you have to spend 100 to 150 just to have access to an extra terabyte. Now you're going to go, oh, if you buy a computer, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But not just for gaming. I don't buy I didn't buy my storage going, oh, what am I going to do with all my Assassin's Creed game? I went, for the videos and documents and all the stuff that I have, where am I going to put that? I got a hard drive and I just threw it on. It's more work for me. It's more time to transfer between. But I didn't have the money for 4 terabytes of an SSD. So I got a 4 terabyte hard drive and it works for now. It won't for the future, for forever, but it works for now. And I don't go I need to go buy another SSD so I can fit that game on. I just undownload the game that I have on here. It's just a game. It's only one of the portions that I'm doing this for. If I were going to make this computer for gaming, I would specifically be having large amounts of SSD for that. And I can buy those SSD. And then if I wanted to upgrade that SSD, that 1 terabyte or those 2 1 terabytes I had, I could sell those and buy a 2 terabyte if I don't want to have 2 drives in there. I could do all that stuff. I have no idea. I can't tell you. I even put that in my holiday guide that I wrote for parents, a buying guide. I can only tell you that it's not going to be good and it's not going to be cheap. At the most importantly, even if you want to argue that this is good or not for Xbox, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be like $50 for a terabyte, right? Because for $300, they give you 512 gigabytes, half a terabyte. And it's going to be anything, 150 is really what I'm expecting. 100 is if they realize that they're going to need to take such a cut for this just to be selling these things. But then how do you look at this? This is a question mark. You cannot download the latest Call of Duty, which came out months ago, and more than 1 or 2 new games before needing this extra storage option. How much is it? We have no idea. Nobody does. So why the fuck are content creators going, oh, it's cheap, it's budget, it's a deal? It's not. How the fuck do you know? I don't know if a PlayStation 5 is going to be cheap. I know for me, personally, what I look for a game console, that it's a better deal, that it's better innovation. There's better reasons to get it for exclusives, for games. Most of their games for PlayStation are single player so that I can buy 2 or 3 games, cut my fucking online for 3 or 6 months because I don't need to play with people online. I can just call a friend while we're fucking playing games. There's no problem. But I don't know if it's going to be a good deal or not. I don't know what NVMEs are going to be accepted in that. I don't know what their external storage is going to look like, if there's going to be something other than the PS4 ones that you have. I don't know. So I can't tell you if PS5 is a good deal or not. I can tell you whether or not I want to get it. I can tell you whether or not it's going to be a good console. Like, this will be a powerful console, the Xbox Series X. And the Xbox Series S will be fine for budget if you want to do something. But in my opinion, this isn't really even worth more than a Switch. And I don't think a Switch is worth it for $300. Especially right now, right in the market it is. A brand new Switch for $300 versus this. Well, for the Switch, even though it's shitty hardware, you don't have to buy the online to play most games. Hell, you don't even need online for most games to play online. I don't need online to connect with people through my Mega Man collections, or to play with people through Mario Odyssey, or to be on the leaderboards for Mega Man 11 or the X Legacy Collection Boss Rush, to duel people on Yu-Gi-Oh, to play people on Digimon Story. I don't need online for that. I do for Pokemon specifically. So most games, you don't even need it. Okay, Switch is cheaper. What do you get? Well, you get 2 controllers. You also get a portable screen. You don't even need a TV if you don't want. If you're not even playing it at home, what the fuck you need a TV for? You have a screen right there. It's a better deal. The Switch is a better deal than Xbox Series S. And I can't tell you whether or not the Series S can potentially be a better deal, because I know the pricing of memory for Nintendo Switch. It's like $20, $30, $40, $50, and you get tons of storage. I bought for $30. I got like a 32 or 64 gigabytes stick for the Switch. I don't need another one. I have like 11 games. I can have them all on there. Nothing on system memory. I have like not even using half. This, you can't even fit 3 games. And I don't get what's the deal about this? What's the deal? And I want to say this because I think nobody is remembering any of this. I think these are the only numbers being focused on, which is not realistic. You wouldn't go, oh wow, that's a good deal on a car, $5,000 for a used, when you don't consider what the mileage is, how much is the insurance, what are you going to be spending on gas? Is the gas going to be cheaper with the newer one that's say $2,000 or $3,000 more, but you get better mileage? You have to weigh these things. You don't just go, oh, look at the initial price tag. That's a deal. Take my money, please. Because that's not true. Because Microsoft is not interested in the gaming console industry. They're interested in the subscription industry, like Apple, like a phone company. They want you in their ecosystem. Hardware? Sure, buy the hardware. Are you in the ecosystem? Right? Who cares if you have a MacBook? Do you have an iPhone where you're buying apps constantly? Okay, then we don't need you to have a MacBook. Who gives a shit how many of these consoles they sell? They don't care. Are you signing up for a subscription service? That's what they care about. That's where they're making their money. And it's not a deal there. Because when I can get all of this stuff, this big asterisk right here of like extra fees, if I can get all of this stuff on the computer, except I don't need to pay this $60 a year because I already pay for my fucking internet, then why is this a deal? Are you saying that this is a deal compared to a $300 gaming computer? Yeah. Are you saying that Xbox Series X is comparable to a $500 gaming computer? Yeah. But it doesn't just do that. And to be realistic, that $500 gaming computer that you're going to probably use for, you buy consoles for like 5 years out. So this Xbox Live Gold is at the end of, and this is buying it full priced every year. This is buying it at half price. This is buying it in bulk, the Xbox Live Gold. It's $60 a year. So in the end of 5 years, you have spent $300 just for the availability to use the Wi-Fi internet you pay for. So add that on to the Xbox Series X. Is the Xbox Series X a cheaper deal than an $800 gaming PC? Is the Xbox Series S a better deal than a $600 gaming PC. With this, with these caveats still here, and this big question mark up in the air, is a $600 gaming PC such a worse deal than a $300 Xbox Series S? No, it's not. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not. If you're only doing gaming, sure, you can justify it. Is it a better deal? No. And if you want to ignore all of this and go, it's still a better deal, then you're just being delusional. That's fine. That's fine. Then you and I don't have to have the conversation. But I'm telling you this, it's not a deal. So don't listen to somebody who like is ready to go pay $1,500 or $900 for a graphics card and then being like, oh yeah, the Series S is going to be a deal because it's going to be up to like this much amount of money in graphics cards. Well, you were already in the market for $1,000+ on just your graphics for your computer. That means that you didn't do it just for gaming. You probably did it because you used it for something else, like content creation. You know, so when you're just buying this Series S, it's not worth it. It's not a deal. And I can tell you it's not a deal because we don't know if it's a deal. So I'm actually wrong by saying it's not a deal. I can't tell you because if this storage option comes out for $50, hell, that's actually a deal. Yeah, pick up 2 of those, get a Series S, don't get rid of your last gen Xbox and only use this for new games. Yeah, you could have this for probably 2 years. Be fine. At $60 a year for the Live, so this $300 turns into $420 by the end of 2 years. Plus, if it breaks, I'm not even going to get into if it breaks, if you guys ship it for, because they only come with 1 year limited warranties, the consoles. So I'm not even going to get into how much it is to fix it versus how much easier it would be to just fix or replace a part that has probably either a longer warranty or is cheaper to just replace than, what were they, like $150, $130? Maybe you can get one for $110 for an HDMI replace on an Xbox One. An HDMI, a little thing, a little piece that is less than $8 to buy. $110. The labor is really that intensive to resolder an HDMI port. So when you want to take all this and all of this is in consideration without having to get your fucking console repaired, is it a deal? No. And I can tell you that as somebody who's been on budgets and done console gaming since PS2. I got a PS2, then Xbox One, then I got an Xbox 360. Well, I had a GameCube and Nintendo Wii and everything in there, but I don't talk about that much. PS3, then I got a PS4. And about a year into the PS4, I knew this is going to be my last console I'd be getting like near release. And this is the last console I'd be doing live because this bullshit here became too much money. And this right here was too much bullshit. And there was still extra money. So it's not a deal. Don't listen to anybody that's saying it's a deal. Listen to why they say it's a deal. Do they mention how much it is to play online? Do they mention the games? And how games are also more expensive, especially digitally, which this Series S is. Games are going to be more expensive digitally because you're not going to be able to get the disc and get them at a deal. Are they talking about extra controllers, accessories? Are they talking about a compatible TV and putting that into the budget? Because that gets put into the budget. If you buy a gaming PC, you put the fucking monitor in the budget. So it's not a deal. I don't know how anybody's calling it a deal. Everybody who's calling it a deal, debate me. Debate me. Right here. I'll be sitting here. I'll be waiting. Debate me. But you're fucking wrong. So stop telling people that this is a deal when average consumers are going to go look at this. When a parent who's like saving money and being like one Christmas present and then sees this and goes, oh wow, this could be the one Christmas present. That's not it though. And then they're going to do the $25 all access because you called it a deal. So then they look at the payment plan going, well, if they're saying that this thing's a deal and I'm doing the math and I'm saving $30 a year or $20 a year or whatever, or $20 overall, you know, with this stuff or $40 or $60, if I'm saving just a little bit of money, but somebody else is telling me it's a deal, it's not a deal. You got to take everything into consideration. It's not going to be a deal. It's going to stop being a deal. That 4th, 5th game in, that 2nd, 3rd storage memory card, it's not going to be a deal. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be a deal. So any parents or anybody who's thinking of getting this stuff for their kids, and doesn't want to listen to me or thinks, oh, he has no idea what he's talking about, don't listen to me. Go buy this and come back here a year later and tell me that I was wrong. Tell me how much money it actually was to have all of this. Tell me how much money it was to spend on those 5, 6, 7, 8 video games and how much these expendable storages are. Then when your kid wants to sell that system because all of this is going to devalue significantly, tell me how much you got for that. Tell me if it was worth it. I'll bet you it wasn't.